Hey everybody, this is David at Homestead Hacks. What I want to show you today, if you want some good material, I'm over here on my new property where we're going to put the camper, and I want to start off by showing you a good little hack for a video for you to do. If you are wanting to build a fire, and one of the best things that you can use, if you see this downed old pine right here, and you see these branches sticking out, and a lot of times you can find these just laying on the ground, and a lot of times they just snap off like that. And what we'll do, that part right there will be full of what they call fatwood, and this stuff will burn really easy. Now it can be too rotten, so you got to be careful what you pick up. If it's too rotten and too wet, it may not burn, but most of the time this is how solid that is. It's not breaking there in the middle. But this right here is full of pine resin, and that little knot or remnant of the limb right there will burn for a long time. So we'll get it home here in a little bit and light it and show you how well it burns. Okay, I got this fatwood. I brought it back home and got it down here and close to my barn, and my big giant Sasquatch. He's 11 foot tall. I'm gonna put him over somewhere on the property one of these days. But anyway, I want to show you, I had to blow this out, and I kept trying to get it out, and it wouldn't hardly go out. That's how well this fatwood burns. We'll try to light just a little bit of it here, and once this stuff gets going, it burns for a long time. This is like it's just a real good fuel once you get it going, and it usually lights up pretty easy. And it's full of pine resin. It's heavy. Because it's basically a knot, because right here, if you look, was where the limb goes into the tree, and this part here is the inside part of that limb on the very inside, and it just packed full of resin. This was even a rotten one here. It was pretty, almost to the point where it was decaying pretty bad, and it's still burning, and it burns very hot. You can find these pretty much anywhere in the woods. Now another thing you can do to obtain this and get a fresher piece, because the fresher the better. Fresher meaning cut right off the tree. If you would find a pine tree, and where the limb goes into the tree, cut it as close as you can to the tree, and cut that piece off, and you can actually saw that on the end and make you some sawdust, and that stuff will, I'm telling you, it burns. That resin, that pine resin in there, burns for a long time, and it burns really hot. Okay, I got the thing cut in half. I want to show you how it looks, where the outside looks almost like driftwood. It's so dried out. The inside, look how wet and dense it is right there. And it smells very strong. I mean, it's very pungent in pine. Very, very strong. I broke off a few of those shavings where it's real wet inside. Let's see how fast this will light up. It should take right off. If you would cut this very fine to get it going, it's taking off pretty good right there into these little, I just cut up in just a few shavings off of it to see how it burned like that. This is taking off pretty good. What some people will do, they'll take like a small tooth saw, like a wood saw, and cut shavings, cut into the wood, into the end of it, and get a bunch of shavings about the size of a quarter, and then you can take like a spark, like a magnesium spark, and strike it, and it'll take off like that very easily. But this stuff, even just that little bit of wood right there, will burn a long time. It's got a lot of fuel in it. That pine sap is very flammable and will burn for a long time. It's called Fatwood. This stuff is easy to find. You can, anywhere you're in the woods and you need to make a fire, it would be so easy to find this. And the length of time is what makes it amazing. Is you get that started, and we'll watch this and see how well this burns. If you'd have a good knife and just shave you off a few shavings off of it, would work a lot better. I would just kind of breaking it off. You can also find this in the roots of the pine tree. If you find a pine tree that's fell down, look towards the base going into the roots, and you can cut off pieces there as well. And you won't be disappointed with this stuff. It's a lot of people don't know about this. This is something that's kind of a, people just don't talk about it much. You just don't hear much about Fatwood. And that's another video I want to make too, and not using Fatwood, because that's kind of, no, I wouldn't say cheating, because this stuff burns about like I said, one of those fire starter logs that you get. It burns about as equivalent, if not better than that. So starting a fire with it is very easy. I've seen so many people at campgrounds, and you just don't realize the people out there that don't know how to properly start a fire. And I'm gonna make a video one day, and I'm gonna start it with a spark and proceed from there, from a little piece of cotton or some lint out of a dryer. Works very well, and to show how you properly start a fire from start all the way up to big logs. I've seen people in campgrounds, and it's just, I guess just because they've never experienced camping or been in the woods much, and they'll have a big log and they'll throw gasoline on it and see a big huge fire and start jumping up and down happy about it, then it goes out. That's just how you can't build a fire. You got to start off very small. But it's amazing to me how this Fatwood burns and burns and goes for a long time. So that's about it. I mean, basically just from here, or what I would do in a situation like that is get very small kindling, start off with leaves, very small twigs, and get just a little bitty fire going and lay this on top of it, and it will burn for a long time. And you can pick up several of these. You could have a 5-gallon bucket full of them, and that fire would burn you for a long time. So that's about it. I just want to show you how well this stuff burned, and if you ever get in a situation where you need a fire, anywhere basically in the woods, you can find these. Don't forget, folks, please click on the little bell. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching Homestead Hacks.